In this video, I am going to share with you what are the different methods of sale procedure in commercial property. So the first one is which is called a private treaty or are expecting kind of things if they're saying. The next one that you will find quite a lot in commercial property is called expression of interest. And the last but not the least is called the auction. If you want to know about this, then stick around. Okay, so what are the different sale methods? So the first one is which is called a private treaty. Just like a residential property, a private treaty sale is or offer or are expecting kind of things if they're saying. That means you can put an offer. It's up to the owner to accept. Basically, whenever it's saying that the private treaty offer or private treaty sale method is like the vendor is expecting the offer, and as long as you put an offer and the vendor matches that or vendor agrees it, then the property would be sold. This is something like a market which is relatively soft. This is also about depends on the property, what kind of property it is. It is possible to buy this private treaty. I particularly prefer this kind of method of private treaty where I actually put an offer, and if it is not accepted, that's fine, I'll move on or put a counter offer. This is also similar to the residential properties. As I said that it is in residential properties, you'll also find the similar thing, private treaty. The next one that you will find quite a lot in commercial property is called expression of interest. It's not so much into residential properties, but in commercial properties, you get a lot of expression of interest. Now, expression of interest, basically, it gives you at a certain date, like expression of interest closing on, let's say 25th of February, and assuming this is like a mid-February, that means you have up to 25th of February to put an expression of interest, which is saying that yes, I would like to, I'm planning to purchase. You put your expression of interest. Be careful though, what actually vendor doing or their agent doing is that they are seeing that what kind of interest in that property, and as long as the interest is so much, like let's say 8-10 people are putting expression of interest, and then they might come up with saying that, oh, now that the vendor actually shortlisted you, put your best offer. So what it basically means is kind of a silent auction. In other words, they are actually bidding each other up and seeing that who can give the maximum price. I prefer that expression of interest is something to go towards the end to see the interest. I put sometimes my expression of interest, but I do not go with the counter offer or something unless I really want that deal. So expression of interest is basically means that as the word says that, okay, you put your offer, best offer, and we will see at the end, once it's expired, then we will see whether you will be getting this or not. Which is why to put an offer as an expression of interest, you need to know your per square meter rent, per square meter value in that area of the property, so that you can put this offer. You also need to see that property, inspect beforehand, and kind of get an idea about, yes, this is the property you want to buy and this is the reason. Expression of interest also works like if you have a plan to do something with the property, because the whole reason you are actually buying this is you want to improve your cash flow, you want to improve your capital growth. So you need to also see that what can you do beforehand before you put to this expression of interest. And the next one, or the last but not the least, is called the auction. And the auction is, again, the agent actually does a lot of campaign before and say on this day the auction will happen. And unlike residential property, commercial property auction is slightly different. Residential property auction is basically on the property and agent and couple of other guys, and then just put the auction and sell that property. Whereas in commercial property, it doesn't happen like a one-on-one property sale and on the property. Rather, it happens in like a nice hotel, or in Sydney, let's say an opera house, or in a Hilton hotel, or even Brisbane or Melbourne or all other major cities, that these agents, they take multiple other properties like 5, 7, 10, 20 properties, and then they go for an auction. So it's like an auction day where multiple buyers will be there, whether over phone or physically they will be present, and they will be bidding up with each other and buying that property. You need to be very careful about the auction, because sometimes agent will say that, oh, you have to pay some deposit, which will be refundable, of course, if you are not buying that, if you are not the highest bidder, or if you are not buying that property. But sometimes to kind of an entry fee to go into that auction. Even with over phone you can be there, because sometimes these days, specifically after that coronavirus or the COVID, it became like through Zoom link or something you can attend and you can bid it. However, you need to always know that auction property, when you're buying at an auction, you have to pay upfront deposit and there is no finance clause. So you need to make sure that you're absolutely certain that you're going to get the loan and everything is ready before you purchase in the auction. I generally prefer do not buy on auction. I will let it go. If it is that much crazy properties, then let someone else, because generally in auction you will end up paying more. As a buyer, you will always pay more in an auction property than expression of interest or a private treaty. Private treaty is my best option, and which is why I sometimes see if an auction the property does not go and then it comes back as a private treaty, I might be interested that. So I often sometimes tell the agent that, hey, if it doesn't go on auction, if it's still in the market, let me know. So I'm actually making it kind of a option for me that, hey, if it doesn't get into auction, then I will buy. So again, commercial property, these are the three methods predominantly that gets the property sold. One is that private treaty, which is similar to like a residential property. Expression of interest, that's something you might not have seen, but expression of interest basically is a particular form that you need to fill it in and you need to express your interest, and then after a certain day agent is going to say whether your offer is the best offer or not, and from there onwards you will proceed. And the last but not the least is the auction, which is very dangerous because you end up paying little bit more, and in general, because in auction, in the spot of the moment, they are going to hype up and they're going to say how good is the property is. From that agent point of view, you will always think that it is it's kind of a human psychology. You will end up paying more. So which one do you prefer the most? If you just bought the commercial property, if you're planning to buy a commercial property, then which method that you would like to prefer? Put in the comment section. I love to see that. I hope you find these videos helpful and it actually helped you to understand some of these sales method. If you like this video, please do me a favor, subscribe my channel, turn the notification bell on so you get to see more videos like this, and it will also help me to reach out to more people like you. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.